What is up, everybody? I'm NoLuxGiven, and today I've got 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. Thank you very much to everybody who's hit that subscribe button and anybody that hasn't, that watches me and supports my content. But I wanted to celebrate today this special event with a game that I thought was a ton of fun. And for my 1,000 subscriber special, I don't know, which hero should I pick here? We've got Horde Dragon, that was my 800 subscriber special. Gwen, that was my 900 subscriber special. But I have been loving Goldilocks recently. I'm currently 8-0 on this hero. I've won 8 games, got crowns every single time of the 8 games that I played with it. So let's play one more and let's pick up Goldilocks and see what we can do. You might also notice that if we do well enough this game, I will get Mythic. So there's a lot on the line. There is my 8-game winning streak and the chance to hit Mythic for the month of November. So we'll see how all of this goes. But yeah, we're going to start by just picking up some evil characters. I'm going to pick up a Labyrinth Minotaur and lock onto a Black Cat. I thought that that would make me reasonably strong here in the early game, and I'm happy enough to just play some strong stuff. That seems a-okay to me. We are going to wind up losing our first combat, which is a little bit unfortunate, but then we find another Black Cat. So I'm going to go ahead and lock onto that, and then the question is, which of these two characters do we cast Magic Research on? My gut was telling me Labyrinth Minotaur, but when I thought about it with my head, I decided to cast it on the Black Cat, and turns out I should have gone with my gut, as against Pup the Magic Dragon, we would have actually been able to keep the Magic Research here. The Black Cat would have traded with that Happy Little Tree, and then the Minotaur could have beat that Mad Mim in the back row. So a little bit awkward, but we get a really good turn 3 shop as well. We get a Shrink Drink with a Golden Chicken in the shop, so we will be able to buy the whole dang thing, and that's really great. Extra gold goes super far on Goldilocks, and I brought this up in most of my Goldilocks videos. I try to find a way to just get a little bit extra gold, and then you've got a lot more purchasing power on those level up turns, and you're able to buy a few extra characters and really hit some nice power spikes in that way. And this game is not going to be different than that. We're going to hit some really nice power spikes on the level up turns, including this one. On 3.0, kind of weird, not super interested in Romeo despite having a little bit more ease in hitting Juliet, but I am going to pick up a triple of Princess Peep. And then we're going to grab an Eye of Ares because it goes so well with the other things that we've picked up. We've got 2 Black Cats and a Princess Peep there. So I'm going to grab that, and then Sherwood Shore Shop plus Turkish Delight seems like a good enough play for the next turn. This shop's actually really strong if we decide to not buy the XP, but I think that we're strong enough that we can afford to buy some XP as long as we dodge those Ring of Meteors. That'll be the only thing that can really get us here. But interesting, I just thought to pick up the Eye of Ares over Crystal Ball. If you had told me a month ago that I was going to take Eye of Ares over Crystal Ball in my 1,000 subscriber special, well, I would have said, yeah, I know, because this game's like a month old, so I already knew it at that point. But if you told me like a day before that, I would have said you're crazy. And Eye of Ares just winds up being such a powerful pickup here that really it wouldn't have worked as any other treasure for us in this game. I do briefly lock onto this shop. Like I said, it's pretty strong with the Mummy and the Frog Prince. Though Frog Prince isn't as strong with Eye of Ares because it's just going to trade 1 for 1 with something. But ultimately decide not to lock because next turn we are leveling up. There's that Ring of Meteors. That's going to hit us for some damage, unfortunately. So we do lose a little bit of life to this Fallen Angel. But now we're level 4, and we've got some nice pickups here. Vulture, really good with all of the animals that we're summoning. The Friendly Spirit isn't that great, but I still decide to pick it up anyways just because it's a nice 4-cost thing. And then we roll into some really, really nice pickups. Sporko being a ranged character that's also going to pump some of our tokens, and another Princess Peep. So definitely going to lock onto this shop and make some nice work out of it. And I will say, there's going to be some parts of this game that don't necessarily make it feel like a 1,000 subscriber special, right? We're just playing summons right now, one of my least favorite comps. And yeah, I think that kind of makes it a little bit sillier, but it's the fact that there was also, I felt so much on the line for me too, because about to hit Mythic, got this Goldilocks streak going on that I don't want to break, and that just added a lot to the excitement when I played this game for myself. So yeah, that is definitely true that the game feels a little bit more exciting when you add those things in. 4.1, like I said, pretty straightforward turn, just going to pick up those things and then roll. Could go for a Lightning Dragon, not really gonna mess around with this stuff here. We're just gonna let this roll on by. Like I said, the Friendly Spirit, not super exciting either after you have Eye of Ares, similar to the Frog Prince. Some good attacks there for my opponent, getting to take out my Sporko and attacking right into my Princess Peep. But with these backline sheep, we still have a lot of power, and my Vulture is absolutely huge. So we are able to deny my opponent that wish upon a star. And here is where I feel like we start earning this game being the 1,000 subscriber special, because I've brought up a ton that extra gold is so good with Goldilocks, and we could have taken the spinning gold, grabbed a little bit of extra gold that way, but what if we just take Piggy Bank and then we don't do anything else? Now we are bringing 8 extra gold into our 5.0 turn. So we're gonna have 8 gold from the Piggy Bank, then we're gonna have 10 gold for the turn plus 2 gold for leveling up. So what is that, 20 gold on 4 or 5.0, is that right? I feel like I might be missing something because we wind up getting a little bit more gold. Sorry, maybe I'm blanking on something right now. But either way, we're gonna have at least 20 gold, and we'll be able to, oh, that's what it is. Okay, my opponent has a golden piggy bank for us, or a golden prized pig for us. I thought we went into next turn with 22 gold, so I was wondering, where's that extra 2 gold coming from? So 22 gold going into 5.0. We're gonna be able to buy the whole shop. We could sell 3 things and buy all 5 of these tier 5 characters. But something special happens again. We get another just natural triple in our shop as Goldilocks. I don't know what the odds of this are, but I've never had it other than in this game, and we get it twice, which is pretty incredible. So we're gonna triple up on Robin's Wood and grab Monkey's Paw, or Robin Wood rather, and grab Monkey's Paw, which is another great treasure for this summons comp in particular. And we're so powerful, in fact, that I'm not going to pick up another character from the shop. I don't really care about Wombats in Disguise, so I'm just going to sell off my bench and hit that 10 gold breakpoint. So now we are adding more cash into the piggy bank. And the goal here is let's start saving again, so that way when we hit level 6, we'll be able to buy everything in the shop yet again and have another huge power spike. So yeah, just a really, really sweet way to play. Piggy Bank, I think, just overperforming and being an all-star, and it's one of those treasures that doesn't typically work. It's not typically that strong of a treasure, but we are able to just make such great use of it in this one. And then on this turn, we do have the baby bear that we could pick up. But again, like, the baby bear isn't that big of a power spike for the amount of gold that it costs. It might not seem like it costs that much. It only costs 5 gold, but 5 gold's actually 6 or 7 gold when you factor in the interest that the piggy bank would give. So I'm gonna pass on the baby bear, but I will pick up some more sheep and add those to the board. then I'm just gonna chill, and I'm gonna save all of that extra gold in the piggy bank so that way we can have an insane 6.0 turn where we get to do some pretty crazy stuff. I'm going to wind up benching the Sporco in favor of just playing a whole bunch of sheep. I thought that was kind of funny too. We are definitely a pretty strong summons comp for only really having the Vulture as a big payoff card, but these treasures are just so strong at this stage of the game. We're up in XP as well on the rest of the lobby. Let's not forget about that part as we take out Puffy. So yeah, overall just really, really strong. And then I see a True Love's Kiss, and I'm going to throw that on the Robin Wood. That gives us an Echo Wood, which typically you're not super happy to pick up Echo Wood as your first tier 6 character, but we already have a ton of synergy with it. Obviously, whenever an animal dies, the Vulture is going to get +3/+3, so Echo Wood gets +6/+6, but also whenever we summon an animal, the monkey's paw that pumps up those animals, that also gives Echo Wood +5 or +10/+10 rather, from the +5/+5 on the monkey's paw. Might have said +6/+6, but it's +5 from the paw, so Echo Wood is getting +10 for every character that we summon. So really, really strong stuff. And then again, hands off. 33 gold. We're going to get +6 gold from that, up to 39, +12 for the turn. That is 51. And then 53 gold when we count in the Goldilocks level up bonus. So that is a ton of gold going into 6.0. This is basically Holy Grail or Bounty Board levels of gold, and I think this is the dream of a lot of Storybook Brawl players, to just go full piggy bank. Here it is, 53 gold on 6.0. So this was really cool, and honestly, I was really nervous that I was either going to lose that last combat or just get punished for my greed, but instead we got a bunch of really cool characters to pick up here. That was me just super ecstatic that we found a bear stain on the level up turn. Obviously that is absolutely huge. I am going to pick up some other things though, because like I said, I don't actually want to play summons forever, but if I can pick up a bear stain, that's obviously a huge power spike, and then maybe I can find some other ways to do some powerful things in this lobby. I do very strongly consider the Lancelot there, but wind up rolling past it, and then I wind up locking onto Princess Peep. The reason I lock onto it is because I just don't want to mess up this piggy bank math, and it was too much to think about at the end of the turn. So I'm going to lock onto the Princess Peep, and the main reason that I'm doing that is for the chance to potentially find a treasure map. That would be something that could really make this game go crazy. Southern Siren is going to wind up stealing a bunch of sheep, which makes this a pretty close combat, but ultimately we are able to walk away with a win, and unfortunately, no treasure map. I didn't want to hype that up too much, because you might feel like anything can happen. This is the 1,000 subscriber special. I will say, just to quell some expectations, the rest of the game is going to feel pretty normal. I think that big 53 gold on 6.0, that was like the big moment of the game. For the rest of it here, we're just going to try to figure out a comp to play and be strong. And I'm definitely like interested somewhat in playing summons, though I'm also interested in finding some more treasures and potentially transitioning into something else that seems cool. So we're going to wind up playing a Hercules and a Lancelot this turn alongside a pair of good boys to find a tier 5 and a tier 6 treasure that can hopefully send us in an interesting direction. And we are going to grab both of those treasures in one turn thanks to our buffed up good boys making use of our existing treasures, and then we are able to get the win. So we're not even punished for taking some time off to farm up some treasures. And now I think it is time to toss the piggy bank. So I'm going to pick up Staff of the Old Toad. That'll help us find some other good characters. Then I'm going to pick up Ivory Owl, which is really good with these good boys, and I'm definitely considering going the good boy route. if we can go for it. I will also wind up dreaming this turn. Again, like just looking for direction, trying to figure out where we're going. That's going to give me Potion Master, which I don't hate because we can use Potion Master to just help find more spells, knighthoods, things like that. There's a knighthood right now that we could lock onto, but we lost the piggy bank. So I kind of want to make use of my 12 gold for this turn. Locking there would basically be like just skipping a turn because we've got 12 gold worth of stuff that we could try to spend here. So I do want to roll down and try to make use of that. I wind up picking up a bear stain. It's not too shabby. We can potentially now find tier 6 treasures off of bear stain and good boy. So those are definitely some interesting options. And we see that Puff with Mirror is looking quite strong here. Plus Medusa gets the resummon. So they're able to take out a lot of our front line. And it's going to come down to my Echo Woods versus their good boy plus their entire back line. So we are going to wind up taking a little bit of damage here. And this is also where I start to realize, like, okay, I can't play summons. I have to try to play something else because the rest of my opponents in this lobby are pretty powerful. So I go for the True Love's Kiss, I grab a tree, and I'm still going to triple this bear stain just because of the tier 6 treasure. And worst case scenario, we can use some shards of the Ice Queen to flip over Hercules and bear stain later on, and potentially even find some more trees. So that could be really sweet. And then we're going to end this turn off by picking up a Mimic Chest, which is really good for right now with the good boys, giving them both +4/+4 each turn. And will also be really, really strong once we grab a potential Ashwood Elm and try to scale that. Now, not going to force it, but if we do find an Ashwood Elm before we can find like a Good Boy or a Croc spell, those are also really important things that I'm looking for. If we can find a Croc, put one of these Good Boys inside a Croc, and then resummon that Good Boy with Bear Stain and give it a bunch of extra stats, that could obviously be really strong. So that's a direction that I have not narrowed down on, that I've not crossed off my list. And for that reason, you'll see, like, I'm not going to go super hard on the trees. I'm not picking up these Burning Beards until we can find an Ashwood Elm. If we can find an Ashwood Elm, it's a little bit of a different story. I don't feel like I need another Bear Stain, though. And then I do wind up finding the Ashwood Elm. There is another option in this shop. I could sell off 4 things to Knighthood a Good Boy. But if we take a look at this board, I'm just so well set up for trees. I know it's a little bit boring to just play trees, especially on my 1,000 subscriber video, and hopefully I don't let too many people down with that. But I did think that this was just such a sweet game because of the silly stuff that we got to do with Piggy Bank. I'm going to wind up selling off one of my Princess Peeps to cast a Merlin's Test onto Ashwood Elm, and then I'll throw that Hercules back in as well as just backline a Princess Peep here. But we'll see how big these Echo Woods are able to get and how big all of these trees are able to get from this Mimic Chest plus Owls. Pretty big. Echo Woods up to the 200. And we can see that this Pied Piper is still pretty strong with Southern Siren able to steal some trees, but will it be able to steal an Echo Wood? It will be. So we do wind up taking a loss, taking 15 and going down to 9. Luckily, we are up against the Ghost right now, so we'll get to cast this Knighthood for free. And then I take a look at the lobby and I realize, wait a minute, the pup that I thought was going to be my final boss is actually the Ghost that we are about to fight against. And I started freaking out a little bit here because this is such a sweet game and we might lose to the Ghost right now because this Ghost was really good. So the one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to backline my 3 biggest characters, my 2 Echo Woods and my Burning Beard, just so that way maybe they are less likely to get scammed by my opponent's Mirror Medusa. But then we've got 2 other potentially really strong opponents to worry about. Maybe one of them will take the other one out, but it's scary that they've been able to beat up on this pup because I thought that this pup was going to be way too strong. Now, it turns out that because Pup isn't giving the bonus to some of my opponent's characters, they are a little bit smaller, and with the fact that my Echo Woods are unable to get scammed here, that does wind up being significantly easier to take down this pup, I will say, and we're able to find a win. So, whew, we dodged that bullet, and now it is time to try to take down Pied Piper. I'm going to go for a Pigomorph here on what is potentially the final combat of the game. And I do consider that Monster Book because it would be nice to replace some of my characters with some scam. And then I get even more scam options, 2 Medusas and a pumpkin, as well as a Doom Breath for this final combat. So I'm going to want to pick up these characters in some capacity. The only question is, do I pick up Medusa and a pumpkin or double Medusa? And this is a really tricky question, but ultimately, I'm just going to decide to pick up double Medusa. The pumpkin could have been really good because we've got a whole bunch of 6-cost trees in the front line. And I think about that, but I just wind up going for the double Medusa to try to scam as many as of my opponent's characters early as I can. And let's see if that is going to be enough. The Siren is unable to steal the Burning Beard, and we grab the win. A really, really crazy game, I thought. Yeah, 53 gold going into 6.0 as Goldilocks was definitely really cool, and we were playing it a little bit risky, certainly, at some parts right there, but not only were we able to win and keep the Goldilocks streak alive, of course, but like I said, this game also got me Mythic for the month of November, so there we go. I am truly incredible, and you all are, of course, incredible for your support of the channel. So just want to say thank you again. This has been just a goal of mine. I think, you know, since I was a kid, I've always thought it would be cool to like try to have some type of success on YouTube, and obviously I'm still extremely small, but it means a lot that 1,000 people thought that it was cool enough content and appreciated me enough as a creator to show their support in that way. This has been also kind of my goal for the past year, as I really fell in love with Storybook Brawl enough that I just decided, okay, I'm gonna play this game and put out videos for it every single day. And there were some hiccups in there, and I thought that maybe I wouldn't hit this goal by the end of the year with my heart attack that happened about a month ago. That really threw off the timeline, but then the numbers just started really kicking up over the past week, and I think that a decent amount of that probably due to Marvel Snap and people finding my channel through that. But either way, really cool to be able to finally hit this. And also want to say thank you to everybody that supported me while I was while I had the heart attack. I posted that health update video, and the support from all of that was really overwhelming. Obviously, I had friends and family reaching out too, but it was just nice to see all of these messages from strangers, some of whom I've gotten to know, the frequent commenters and stuff, just in the small way that you do. But yeah, just wanted to say thank you guys for everything. As far as this channel going forward, and then I guess also thank you for sticking through me through the FTX acquisition and FTX bankruptcy. Those were definitely some interesting moments as far as what the future of Storybook Brawl and thus this channel could mean. I do want to say I am going to start branching out a little bit more in my content, just because the future of Storybook Brawl is unknown. I also wanted to check out Teamfight Tactics, as a new season of that is starting, and potentially also just some random variety gameplay. And there will also be like hamster videos in the future, I'm sure, and some things that just seem totally random. But that's always kind of been the purpose of this channel. It's never just been about one game. I would say that probably a little over half of the people are subscribed strictly from Storybook Brawl, but there's always going to be other ways to grow the channel, and it's more just about the games that I like and am having fun with playing. So maybe you can check those out as well, just to see if there's some other games that you could find some interest in. But as my camera ticks away there, I think that's going to be time or a sign to end it. So thank you guys very much for all of your support for the past year and for the future. But that's going to be it for me today. Thank you guys very much for watching. I'm No Lux Given. Peace.